Hello, my name is John Price, and this is a demonstration of Space Trekkers, a procedurally generated space exploration game that I created for my senior project at the Oregon Institute of Technology. A few disclaimers. Before I go into the demonstration, I'm not the greatest at presenting, so if I lose track of myself or stutter or say then that's sorry. There is no audio for this demonstration because the capture software that I am running does not want to record both the microphone and the audio from the game properly. The last thing is that this is currently running on an old laptop, which is how it was developed. Wanted to have it run on the lowest spec possible, so I just did it on my old laptop. However, I did not take into consideration capturing video and audio while running the game. So if there are any frame rate issues or anything like that, it's because there's a lot of processes being taken up by that capture software. So to get started, in the game you have your main ship, which you can see there's not much to it. There's the docking bay here, where you have your fighter ship, and then there's the pilot's room, where you have your list of locations in the current sector. There's stations and asteroid belts and asteroid fields, and then you have your mission selection stuff here. So we have a mission to kill 4 bandits. We have a mission to fetch iron. So you can see, here's some text that's poorly formatted. So they're looking for 14 units of iron, and you're holding none. You can also get some old world cache. There's a few bugs. I wouldn't worry about it though. So yeah, those are some missions that you could take on. Actually, these are currently accepted missions. You can only accept them at certain space stations. But we'll go ahead and pop into the captain's chair here. Now you can see we are currently next to a space station and a planet. Now the planets are essentially 2 spheres overlapping each other of different colors, and one of them is deformed with Perlin noise to create the illusion of land. Now you can't currently land on the planets. Even if you could, there's nothing to do there, but it does look pretty nice. And let's see, where did that space station go? Oh, we're floating past it. Alright. So we'll go ahead and dock with the space station real quick, just so you can see the interior of one. It takes care of itself. It aligns and docks for you. So we have to wait for it to stop, and then we can pop out of the chair and run over to the door that will open for us. And here you have the entire interior of a space station. Now this is abandoned, except there are monsters roaming these hallways. Now for the demonstration, I have turned the brightness way up, the ambient light, so you can see what's actually going on. But you can see there's a flashlight, and the reason behind, oh, there's no containers in here. The reason behind the flashlight is, for one, so you can see where you're going, and also because monsters are patrolling the hallways, they are attracted to the light. So here we have containers that you can interact with inside of the space stations. You can sell these items at other space stations, like their shops and mission stations that you can pick up missions from and sell items at. So we have some old world cash, some cigarettes, and a chair. I just randomly put in items. These items are actually generated from a text file, so they are put into that file, and when the game is loaded, they're read in, and then when you arrive at a space station, those items are their information is pulled into a list that these containers populate from. And they all have their own values and that kind of thing, so when you're selling them, they all have different worth and that kind of thing. So, but the monster AI essentially looks for the light on your flashlight. Oh, there's one over there. And of course it looks like his animation is not running. Bugs. But yeah, so they'll start chasing you down while you have your flashlight on. So you need to turn your flashlight off and run away in the dark. So that was a fun mechanic that I came up with for this. So then once they lose sight of you, they'll search for you, and if they can't find you, they'll continue on their merry way. So let's go ahead, pop back into the ship and undock. There we go. Now everything just despawned inside of that station, so we don't need to worry about that. Now, because it is procedurally generated, anytime that we dock at this station, the layout will always be the same at this one station. Now, if we go to another station, the layout will be completely different. However, there is always 3 floors on the station, and there's a set number of rooms, but the layout changes every time. As the same goes for these planets here. So if I unloaded the game and reloaded it with the same save file, which is where the seed comes from, it's the save file name, this planet would be in the same place and the same sector every time. So another feature to take a look at is asteroid fields. So we'll go ahead and start trekking over to an asteroid field here. Now you can see the velocity in the top right corner is increasing more and more, faster and faster, and that's because acceleration is tied to the current velocity. So the faster you are moving, the faster you accelerate. I originally had a shifting mechanic where you'd shift up gears and be able to accelerate way faster that way, but this felt a lot more natural. You call it the mass accelerator or something like that, the momentum accelerator. Anywho, so here we're moving up on the asteroid field, and you can see that there are 3 types of ore currently in the game. Each asteroid has its own base ore. So the reddish ones here are iron, and then the gray ones are lead, and the yellowish gold is gold. And so just like with planets, if you were to exit out of this game and come back to the same spot with the same file name, you'd see the exact same asteroid field with the exact same layout. Now, just like items in containers, these like the iron and their color and value of these items are all in a text file. So you can add in, say, adamantium, color it green, and give it a value of 1,000,000 or whatever you want, and then you'll have some green asteroids that you can mine for adamantium. Now to mine, it's a little gimmicky, but we move close to an asteroid, and then, oh, come on, there we go. Send out a little probe, and he will move up to the asteroid, sit next to it, and periodically we will receive, in this case, lead in our inventory. So we can call him back. He'll sit back in the ship with us, and we can, go to another asteroid and mine that. Or what we can do, since we are here, go ahead and pop out of the captain's chair and move into our fighter ship. Now from here, we lower ourselves down, and if we give it a moment, the front will open up in front of us. Now, during that time, the top actually closed back up. So if I were to look up right now, you'd see just a solid wall. But now we can fly around outside of our ship and see what there is to see. And we also have a laser system, so we can shoot projectiles if any enemies were to spawn, which they're on a timer and they will randomly spawn, but I'm not going to hang around too long to wait for them. But yeah, so they will chase you down and try and shoot at you. But if you have a mission to take out a certain number of bandits, this is where you go to do that. I'm not going to wait any longer. They're on a slow timer because you don't want them flying at you over and over and over again. Now, docking here is a little half-baked, I'll be honest. But you move into position, and there we go. And it will automatically reorient you, close the door. It's opening the top right now so that you can move up, and then it elevates you back up to the top. So now we'll pop back out of the ship, and oh, we have some funky collisions here. So yeah, now we have some enemies shooting at us. Where are they? There we are. So yeah, so you can see there's an enemy. There's a few enemies right there. Now they're probably clipping inside of each other, and they zipped off. Yep. So yeah, that's the enemy combat there. You can see a few other ships arrived. So we'll go ahead and jump out of here, and they'll disappear. We don't need to worry about them anymore. But yeah, so from there you could go to a regular space station and, you know, turn in any missions that you have completed, or you can move to another sector. So we can go ahead and, so you can see here we have 4 stations and 2 asteroids. Now if we accelerate really fast, get up some good speed, we can get out of the current sector. Now we're going to have to be going pretty quick here. After a few seconds here, we'll actually move to the next sector. And you can see the top left-hand corner. We'll know when we've changed sectors because one of those numbers will flip. There we go. So we just moved into a 3rd sector. All right. So now you can see. There we can click on station. Now stations are always next to planets, so we can go ahead and fly over to this planet over here and see what it looks like. And then after that I'll end the demonstration. Alright, there it is. So yeah, we've got a green planet. So we have some green water and green land. Well, I don't know if that's green water. It's an ugly color. Anywho, and then there is our space station that we would dock at. So yeah, that's Space Trekkers in a nutshell. It has, it's procedurally generated. It has, I think the number is 6 times 10 to the 28th different sectors that you can travel to, which are all unique. And on top of that, the game files are seeded, so you can have any number of different seeds to generate your entire universe off of. So yeah, thank you for sitting through that, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.